It's no surprise Canada's national teams are doing well because Canadians are doing some pretty awesome things on a global stage with their pro teams. Want to know what they're doing? We'll move over, Kim, because here's the first installment of Keeping Up with the Canadians. Canadians will be relieved to see Alphonso Davies back in a Bayern Munich uniform ahead of the World Cup. He missed a few matches after taking a boot to the face in a league game in early October. But this week, Davies was back and he was all over the pitch. He had an incredible assist on Jamal Musiala's 74th minute goal, and Davies followed that up with his first goal of the season in extra time, leading Bayern to a 5-2 victory over FC Augsburg. From Germany to France, where Canadian Jonathan David plays his club soccer for Lille, he continued his strong run of form against Monaco as he picked up 1 assist and was crucial in the build-up of Lille's second goal in a 4-3 win over Monaco. He now has 9 goals and 3 assists in Ligue 1. Great news for fans of the men's national team just a few weeks away from Qatar 2022. In women's Champions League action, Vancouver BC's Julia Grosso now lives in Italy, playing for the historic club Juventus, who were in action facing off against FC Zurich. The Canadian midfielder dominated in possession and showed some strong wing play in the build-up to Juve's second goal as they went on to win 2-0. And Grosso took home match MVP in her Champions League debut this season. In a battle of Champions League giants, it was Khadijah Buchanan's and Jessie Fleming's Chelsea who got the better of Ashley Lawrence's Paris Saint-Germain in a 1-0 victory. Buchanan, a native of Toronto, Ontario, already a 5-time Champions League winner with her former club Lyon, made the move to Chelsea in the offseason. She played the full 90 minutes while London, Ontario's Fleming came on in the 77th minute. The Blues opened their Champions League account with an away win in Paris. Let's make our way back to North American soil in the MLS playoffs. Goalkeeper Max Crepeau's LAFC punched their ticket to the conference final with a game winner in extra time, winning 3-2 over crosstown rivals LA Galaxy. On the other side, it was CF Montreal with Canadians Kamal Miller, Joel Waterman, Alistair Johnston, Samuel Piet, Ismail Kone, and yes, keeper James Pantemis getting the start against New York City FC. Montreal conceded in the first 10 minutes and were unable to get their early chances by opposing keeper Sean Johnson. They would go on to lose the match 3-1 to the defending champs, and it was a tough end to an incredible season for CF Montreal. From one league playoffs to another, there were 6 Canadians in action in the NWSL semifinals on Sunday. In the first match, Christine Sinclair and Janine Becky started on the bench for Portland Thorns, while Canadian keeper Kaylin Sheridan got the start for the San Diego Wave. Becky came on in the 77th minute to provide a spark off the bench in a 1-1 game. Sheridan had an incredible performance in this one and held off the Thorns' attack, making 6 saves, keeping the Wave in it late in the game. But the Thorns scored in extra time on an incredible strike from American Crystal Dunn. Sinclair came on as a substitute in the final moments of the match as Portland held on to their 2-1 lead. In the second semi-final, where there were 3 Canadians in action, that would be OL Reign's Jordan Huitema and midfielder Quinn, who got the start. They faced off against Kansas City current captain and fellow Canadian international Desiree Scott. In the 4th minute, Quinn made a costly turnover inside their own penalty area. Kansas City capitalized and got out to an early lead. 21-year-old striker Jordan Huitema had a glorious chance to equalize in the first half, but was stopped by Adriana French. Kansas City would go on to win 2-1 as veteran Canadian international Desiree Scott led the Current to an upset win over the NWSL Shield winners OL Reign in only their 2nd season in the league. She'll be looking to pull off another upset against longtime international teammate Christine Sinclair's Portland Thorns in the NWSL Final that goes on October 29th. For more on the NWSL playoffs, I had a chance to catch up with the Athletics' Steph Yang. The NWSL Final is set. Perennial contenders, Portland Thorns, which, oh, by the way, features a lot of Canadians. You have Christine Sinclair, Janine Becky on the pitch, Rian Wilkinson coach, Karine LeBlanc general manager. But they're taking on the new kids on the block, Steph, and Kansas City Current, just in their 2nd year. Here they are in the final. What kind of showdown are we expecting?
I think we're going to be looking at KC trying to stretch the game, be very transitional. That's their style. And Portland trying to control the tempo, slow them down, play their own game, focus on maybe getting Christine Sinclair into dangerous areas if she plays, which could be a question.
Yeah, she's really embraced, I would say, the evolution of her game. She knows that her role has changed. We've seen that in both the professional and even the national team level. She is a legend, not just in the NWSL, but obviously, with Portland, because of her uncles having played in Portland. She went to university in Portland. She's done incredible things with the Thorns. Just what kind of respect does she still command?
I really think if Christine Sinclair told the residents of Portland to do something, most of them would probably just do it. If she was like, hey, I need you guys to show up at the stadium, no questions asked on some random day, they'd be like, sure. We don't know why, but Sink told us to do it. Let's go do that. So I think the respect that she commands in that city, from her Portland Pilot days as well, there's literally, I think, a shrine to her on their campus where it's got like her medals and her cleats preserved. So she might be a big deal there.
Just a wee bit of a big deal. And I love Rhian Wilkinson was a little cheeky, obviously, because when she brought Christine Sinclair on in that semifinal match for a minute, it was the same time, Cristiano Ronaldo with Manchester United walked off and went down the tunnel before the game was even over. So she was kind of saying, hey, you got two players that are kind of near the end of their careers and they're acting completely different. What was your take when Rhian said that?
I thought that was just pure Christine Sinclair. And it's just as Rhian Wilkinson said, where she was willing to do that for her team, where she was essentially a stoppage time substitute to give them a little time to run down the clock. And I don't think she would have any complaints about that. That's been her attitude her entire career. Every time she speaks or her teammates speak, they always talk about how she'll do anything for the team, no matter how big or small. So pure Sink.
I do want to talk, though, about the recent report that came out with the NWSL, the findings there that were obviously very crushing for a lot of people to hear. And the players, though, have been sending a message out to the fans where they say, we know you're upset with the league. We know you're upset with things that have happened in the past. But the worst thing you could do is take your support away from the league because it means you're taking support away from us. And we need your support now more than ever to continue to grow. So have the fans been listening to that message?
Yeah, I think so. The Portland Thorns versus San Diego Wave semifinal was huge turnout. It was something like 22,000 just over at Providence Park. It was a really big crowd, and the players spoke their appreciation for it after the game. Crystal Dunn talked about how, she really appreciated how this might be something that fans have had to think about all season long, but in the end, they showed up because the players said, that's how we can best feel your support.
All right, well, looking forward to the final and seeing how many fans come out and cheer them on. I know we'll be watching. You'll be watching. I'll be watching. We'll be looking forward to that, Steph. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me on.
If you enjoyed this content, don't miss anything that we're putting out on Soccer North. Be sure to download the CBC Gem app, head to the App Store, and hey, it's free.